Hi everyone! Today's tutorial is about press to handstand. It's a great skill to have, but it can be a little bit tricky. There are three main components to that skill: flexibility, strength, and technique. But I want to say that the flexibility may be the most important of them. If you can work on your hamstring and get a nice flat pike, then when you get up on your toes for starting position for press, you are already halfway there. From there, it doesn't take much strength to get your feet off the ground and you are ready in handstand. If, on the other hand, your hamstrings are stiff by the time you do a starting position for press, your hands are too far forward, your hips are low, and from that position, it is very hard, if not impossible, to press the handstand. And that's why the first thing we're going to work on are hamstring stretches. To stretch your hamstrings, sitting down, you're going to put your legs slightly apart and reach for your toes. You're trying to get yourself closer to your thighs with your head up and back as flat as you can. You're going to hold a stretch for about 10 seconds and then do other variations with your legs going wider every time. The most important stretch is to keep your back flat. So keep lifting your head up and that will help. At the end of the stretch, you're gonna get your legs wide as you can, and then go nice and flat to the ground. Still thinking, tummy goes first, head goes up, and back stays flat. At the very end, relaxing your head and stretching your straddle this way. When working on standing pike, just like in a sitting down one, you try to get as close to your legs without rounding your back. So try to pull yourself towards your legs, thinking about lifting your head up and keeping your back flat the whole time. Keep working on this pike, getting your legs a little wider every time. To do this exercise, lie on your back and grab your ankles and pull your legs towards you only as far as you can before your backs come off the ground. Stop when you see that's happening. Only go as far as you can, keeping your back on the ground. Then you're going to switch your hands and you're going to pull in your legs slightly the whole time while moving your legs in straddle and bringing them back, also giving them pressure on the way back. You're going to repeat this exercise, switching your hands and pushing on your legs on the way there and on the way back. Now I'm going to show you a couple of drills that build strength for press to handstand. To do this exercise, you're going to reach your hands in front of you and then pull your legs at the same time so they land close to your hands. You're going to keep repeating this. Reach your hands, drag your legs, reach your hands, drag your legs. For this next exercise, you're going to put your socks on and find a slippery surface. You're going to start in a plank position and then pull your hips up and drag your toes to end up in a pike looking at your knees. You're going to start this next drill sitting down with your hands by your side. You're going to lift your hips up at the same time, nose goes towards your knees. The movement here is pretty small, but it works your abs really good and in the same way that you need them for press to handstand. Okay, now we're gonna move on to doing the actual press drills. For that purpose, I am using yoga blocks, but you can use whatever you have on hands. You're gonna start with your feet up on the blocks and see if from there you are able to do your press to handstand. If you can do that, that's great. If, however, you can't do it yet, then go up on your toes, starting position to press, and then get up by doing a little jump. If you are jumping to handstand, then make sure you work hard on the way down to come back as slow as you can. You should also try the press against the wall. This exercise puts quite a lot of pressure on the wrist, so I'm turning them out slightly. Then you're gonna go on your toes and you feel your back touching the wall. Try to do the press. And when working on press with the wall, it's also important to work on your way down to make it nice and slow. And if you can't do the press just yet, just like with the blocks, you're gonna do a starting position for press, but then get up by doing small jump. And if you're doing that, then really work on your descent to make it as slow as you can. The first common mistake is starting with your legs open too wide. When your legs are open too wide, your hips are low and they have a long way to go to get up to handstands. This makes doing the press extremely difficult. So remember that your starting position means your hands are your shoulder width apart and your feet are just outside of your hands. The next common mistake would be letting your shoulders go too far forward when you're trying to press. When you let that happen, it is difficult to press, and also it is hard to get your shoulders back in line for the handstand position. So make sure when you practice, you keep your head between your shoulders and only let them go forward slightly. Another common mistake would be opening your legs out too soon. So in this demonstration, I am going to exaggerate a little bit, but you're supposed to get your hips up before opening your legs to straddle. Alright, that is everything for today's press to handstand tutorial. Let me know if you have any questions about this tutorial or other handstand related questions in the comments below.